Good morning, Grigori. Hi. I'm Julian Lopez.
And I'm Gilberto Sendejas. Today is Friday, February 17th. Grigori is offering a new speech class next year. If you enjoy talking about world issues and need to fulfill your practical art requirement, this class is for you. See Mr. Salazar for more details. Our first story comes from an immigrant who traveled to America as a young boy. He endured a tough journey and made it through all the hardships. Now we kick it to Julian Lopez with more information.
We immigrated. My mother, my four siblings. I'm the youngest out of five. At that time, we immigrated because there was a civil war that was starting to erupt in El Salvador, and my mother had fear that we would either be killed or we would be recruited by either the government or the guerrilla militia groups, which at that time they were going to middle schools and even high schools, and they were abducting kids and recruiting them for their purposes. So unfortunately, I don't remember a whole lot because I was 7 at the time. What I do remember, I remember that there was it was a long and lengthy process to come from El Salvador, as we had to go through several other countries in Central America and make our way through Mexico to get into the United States. So I remember it was a lot of long days, cold nights. We were constantly traveling by night. And I remember there was times where my mother just couldn't continue. She broke down and felt like she couldn't go on anymore. But she had a lot of support from my older brother, who was in his teens at the time, and other people in the group. When we migrated, it wasn't just us. It was a group of people who were migrating for the same reasons. They wanted a better way of life, and they wanted to make sure that their children and their family members would have a chance at survival. The type of emotions that I had weren't the same type because I didn't understand what was going on at the time. As a kid, it just seemed like we were going on a trip. And I do remember being here because we did have family members already here in the United States, and so we had a lot of support from other family members. And it just felt like a vacation. I remember being excited being here. I remember trying to make up my own words, trying to imagine that I'm speaking English. But yeah, for me it was being in a new place that I didn't recognize, didn't know the language. Luckily, my grandparents were there, who were very supportive and took care of us while my mother had to work. But it didn't take long for us to adapt and get acclimated. So, from what I understand, life in El Salvador, there's a lot of it's a very poor country. It's a lot of poverty. You don't have a lot of the benefits that you get here from a job, where you can get medical benefits. You don't have labor laws over there. There's a lot of stuff that we have here that just people don't even know about over there. So there's so much to be thankful for. Over there, you can work 18 to 20 hours and still struggle to make ends meet. And as far as medical benefits and support for your children, that stuff is unheard of. The country, it's in a huge economic divide where the rich control the country and have power, and most of the wealth is contained within, well, at least at the time, it was within 2% of the population. So that would leave 98% in poverty. So people, it was a tough road. If you weren't careful, people were constantly mobbing other people, assaulting them, just because they, out of necessity, they were trying to eat and take care of their family. It's not that there were a lot of mean and bad people that just did it for fun. Yes, you're going to have that everywhere you go, but the demands of survival push people to do things that didn't really want to. So I'm glad you asked this. It's a cool looking hat because it represents the colors of the flag. So the flag is going to be, it's going to have a blue stripe along the bottom, white in the middle, and then it's going to have a blue stripe on the top. And then what you see right here in the middle is the crest of El Salvador, which is right in the middle of the flag. Basically just represents the culture of the mountains. It's surrounded by a lot of volcanoes, and it's along the ocean. So it's a beautiful place, but yes, this is what the colors of the flag represent. Anybody that's from El Salvador would recognize this hat, and they would be very quick to identify with it. So very proud of it, and yeah, it's proud to be from El Salvador.
The first track practice is scheduled next Tuesday. Go to the SBO to get your emergency card and receipt to be cleared to play. Listen up, seniors. If you're planning on going to MJC next year and haven't been to the workshops at Gregoria, you must go to MJC's New Student Day in April. See your counselor for more details. Being an athlete can sometimes be tough. It comes with many hardships that only the strong can overcome. Among many of the great athletes, Ramon Soria is one with a story. Gilberto Sendejas reports.
Hey, this is Ramon Soria, and this is my story. It was a sunny day in Ripon, California, and I had a soccer tournament there over the weekend. My team entered with no substitutes, putting us at risk if anyone got injured. We would have to forfeit and get eliminated from the tournament. We went undefeated in pool play and cruised through every team in the playoffs. Facing our toughest opponents yet, it was a team from Yuba City. They were a tough and talented team that wouldn't back down. Late in the first half, someone stepped on my ankle, putting my team at risk from forfeiting. But I know I had to stay strong and keep on going. I played through the rest of the game and gave my team the game-winning assist with my injured foot and won us a game. My name is Ramon Soria, and that was my story.
CSF applications are now available along with forms for Academic Block G and SBO. Both are due on February 28th. CSF memberships cost $5. See Mrs. Davis in N214 for more information. Well, that's it for today's broadcast. I'm Gilberto Sendejas.
And I'm Julian Lopez.
See you next time.